All right, here we go. We are talking about radicals today. In case you don't know what a radical is, it is this sign right there. Right here, over here explains what exactly each part of the radical is called. You have the radical sign, which is that part right there. The radicand is what's underneath, and then your index is this number out there. Now, if the index is not listed, assume it is 2, which is the square root. So if I say, if it looks like this, the square root of 81 with nothing right here, that means they're looking for the square root of 81. The square roots are all that we are doing, but in Algebra 2 you will see things like the cube root of 81 and such, and the fourth root and the fifth root. So you'll get there, but in this part we are only doing square roots. So the first thing we need to talk about is the perfect squares. What are the perfect squares? 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4, 5 times 5, 6 times 6, 7 times 7, 8 times 8, 9 times 9, 10 times 10, 11 times 11, 12 times 12, 13 times 13, 14 times 14, 15 times 15. You should know those. Up here, you may not see those a lot, but at least 1 through 10, I expect you to know and know well. Okay? So, when the radicands are not perfect squares, you need to simplify what that means. So, for example, we have the square root of 81. The square root of 81, that's on our perfect squares, that is 9. Okay? The square root of 49. Square root of 49, that's right here. The square root of that is 7. Okay, that's what a square root is. It says what can you multiply by itself to get 81. So when we are simplifying, okay, you need to find a perfect square that goes into the radicand. So what we look at right here with number 1, the square root of 24. 24 on our line would be here. So what's the next smallest perfect square that goes evenly into 24? So 16 doesn't, 9 doesn't, 4 goes into it. So we're going to split that. 4 times 6 is 24. So you can split it like that. The square root of 4 is 2. So it's going to be 2 times root 6. Okay. With 27, what perfect square goes into 27? Well, 9 does. So 27 is 9 times 3. So it is the square root of 9. We know the square root of 9 is 3 times root 3. We don't know that one. 32. What is that set to? Well, we know 4 goes into it, but this is why I kind of like you to work backwards. If you put 32 on your line, that's here. 16 actually goes into it. So there, 4 does, and you could do that, but you wouldn't be finished yet. Okay, so you want to find the biggest one. 16 goes into 32 twice. So split that up. Square root of 16 times the square root of 2. The square root of 16 is 4 times root 2. And that's it. That's how you simplify, okay? Maybe I'll try one more. Here's a you try page. I'm not going to try one more. These are for you to try, all right? What you should do is take your pen and start marking or write out your perfect squares, okay? 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3. And then with those, know that, let me move this down. Know that what that means is the square root of 1 is 1. The square root of 4 is 2. The square root of 9 is 3. Okay? Write out your perfect squares so that when you're doing these, you easily see which perfect square goes into that. Okay? So go ahead, write those problems down. Those are to try. And when you come to class, next class, we will go over them. Okay? I'm going to move on. So write them down, rewind, pause, next slide. Here we go. Now, a number in front of the radical sign, that means we want to simplify first, and then that's a multiplication. So that is 5 times the square root of 75. So you're going to do the same thing. So let's list out our perfect squares. 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4, 5 times 5, 6 times 6, 7 times 7, 8 times 8, 9 times 9, 10 times 10, 11 times 11, 12 times 12. We'll stop there. All right, so 75 is here. Which goes into that? 25. Okay, 25 goes into 75, so that's 25 times 3. Square root, and then this 5 comes down. Okay, don't leave that out. Don't forget it because you're going to do 5 times this. So then we know the square root of 25 is 5. So we have 5 times root 3. 5 times 5 is 25 times root 3. Next, we have the square root of 200. Okay, what perfect square goes into 200? That would be 100. So you have 100 times 2, square root, bring the 3 down. Square root of 100 is 10 times the 3, and then times root 2. 3 times 10 is 30, so it's 30 root 2. Next one, you have 1/2, so bring that down. 24, what perfect square goes into 24? Let's see, it's not 16, not 9, 4. 4 goes into 24, that's 4 times 6. So you have your 1/2 times the square root of 4 is 2 times root 6. 1/2 times 2, those cancel, it's just 1, so you get root 6. And finally, 56. 1/3 times 56. So you have 1/3 times, let's see, what perfect square goes into 56? 49, no. 16, no. 9, no. 4. 4 goes into 56. 4 times 14. So we have the square root of 4, which is 2. So 1/3 times 2 times the square root of 14. 1/3 times 2 is just 2/3 times the square root of 14. And that's our answer. Okay, so make sure you simplify first and then you multiply. Okay, and that is it. The next page is a you try. There's 4 of them for you to try. Go ahead, write them down, try them, and we'll go over them in the next class. Okay, again, don't forget to simplify first and then multiply by what's on the outside.